Hi Libra, this is Kay and you're on the Collective Soul Tarot channel. Welcome to your reading, your zodiac reading. Let's begin. Please like and subscribe, and I hope you're all doing well. It's wonderful to be here with you again today. And let's find out what your near or far past energy is, your current energy that you're in right now, and then your near future energy. Okay, Archangel Michael, what do we got for the past energy, near or far? We have unchanged. At this time, the situation is stable and unlikely to change. It could be seen as something good or something, not wanted. Today, our present energy is hassles for yarn, hassles, problems, big mess, interconnected, complicated, patience needed, future gains, work it out, made up story, many working components, mischief and out of control. Okay, near future energy is the wheel of karma, dharma. Dharma is the good side of what we usually call karma, but we usually just say karma, karmic debt or whatever, but it's dharma when it's good karma, destined, inevitable, cause and effect, divine intervention, cycles, luck, fortune, rise and fall, circumstances, consequences, divine will, and blind justice. Interesting. Okay, so unchanged. At this time the situation is stable and unlikely to change. So it could be that you have been able to bring some stability into a situation, a relationship, or circumstances, any kind of project you're working on or work that you're doing. This could be something that you have been able to reach a place where you feel stable and secure, right? And it's unlikely to change for some time, or everything changes, so you can't say it's never going to change, right? So, but as far as this reading goes, for as far out as it generally goes, maybe 3 to 6 months, maybe, it is it's going to be stable during at least a few months. Okay, and then the present day energy is yarn with hassles, problems, and a big mess. And when you're like that puppy is trying to unravel that whatever ball of yarn, you ever try to get a ball of yarn unraveled so that you can roll it back up again in a way that it's not going to come out all messed up? Yeah, it's it's quite an undertaking, and it does need a lot of patience. So whatever it is that you are feeling like you've got some security and stability in, and again, it could be, Libra, that it's for something that is unwanted, that's stable right now. Like, in other words, it's not going to change. Like, what if you want something to be different, change, it's not going to for some time, or it's going to be something that you are happy with, at least satisfied with right now, that it is stable. You found some stability and security. Like your job, right? Your work situation. You might be seeing that as being something that's stable for you right now, whereas not at some time before this particular point in time, things are kind of up and down for you. Like you didn't know whether or not you're going to be able to find a good stable job. You might have been taking on jobs that were just temporary and short-lived, or stuff that you really didn't have the kind of benefits, employee benefits for it, like health insurance and dental and vision care and all that sort of stuff. You may not have had that kind of coverage with any other work you were doing before this, but now you've got a job where you're feeling quite stable that way. And Libra, you need balance, right? Because Libra is all about the scales of justice, things being fair and working out in a balanced manner. Yeah, my little thing is falling. Okay, so there we got going on, but things are presently a little kind of, I would say, up in the air, right? a little out of control. Even though you had found stability here in the near past or the far past, right now things are kind of, like I say, nothing ever stays stagnant, or nothing ever stays static. Things do change. And so that's what you're experiencing right now. And it's going to be determined by you only, Libra, as to whether or not the wheel of karma is turning in your favor or turning against you in the near future. It depends on what you decide to do right now in the present energy. Okay, because whatever you're experiencing, the present energy is the past pulled forward. Unless you made some drastic changes in the way you're thinking and feeling about a situation, about a relationship, about people, about this, that, and the other thing. Okay, let's see if we can find out some more from the Lenormand, Archangel Michael. For our Libras, what can we find out? Is this going to be a good thing, karma-wise or dharma-wise? Which one? Destined, inevitable, cause and effect, divine intervention, cycles, luck, fortune, rise and falls, circumstances, consequences, divine will, and blind justice. And Libra is all about justice, right? Things being in balance, perfect harmony. So we have privileged lady here. Yeah, so somebody's been feeling like things were good, you know? Things, you got yourself into a situation, gotten yourself involved in a relationship, a project, a situation, work, whatever, where you're feeling like you're living life pretty good now. Things are stable and secure for you, and even better than that, probably have those benefits, you know, those employee benefits or benefits of having somebody in your life, romantic-wise, that is able to provide those health care benefits, dental, vision, and all that sort of stuff. Health insurance. You know, that's a big thing, especially in countries that it does not provide through the social system. Like Canada provides through the social system. It's paid out through your everybody's income taxes. But in the United States, where I am, because I'm Canadian, but I'm also American, I'm in the United States, you have to provide for your own health care insurance. It's not paid out like that. It's not done through a social system. There's a lot of perks about that too, though, as opposed to what kind of perks or benefits you get with it being done through a social system like through Canada. But in any case, you have the ability to have what you need and much, much more. You've gained that. You've achieved that. But something might be, like I said, up in the air, kind of out of control at the moment. Some problems are arising, and I would say what I'm getting from that is that relationship-wise, there's been problems in the relationship, and it's kind of like, where do I go from here? What do I do? Do I do this or do I that? Do I stay or do I go? Do I confront or do I keep it to myself? And if it's work, it's like, do I stay working here or do I look for another job? Project, same idea, should I stay involved or should I move on from this project and the people involved? And you got concern, whereas that's your concern. That is your concern. We just talked about that. That's your concern. Do I not? And then there's divine timing. That's the karma, wheel of karma. Oh my God, I just love how Archangel Michael brings these cards together to be, to be in a nice alignment with the story and each other. Okay, so yeah, you're having this concern. That's you having a good think about it. You're concerned that if you make a rash decision, for example, you may end up getting bit in the butt over being a bit too impulsive. However, if you're not going to be taking the initiative to do something about it, then it could come back and bite you that way too. So you're just not sure what's the best course of action. What's the best course of action? But it's the divine is saying here, of course, it's up to you what you do. You choose right now, as to what you're going to experience in the near future, but it's all under divine timing. So take your time until you're ready, you're feeling ready to instigate action, to take a plunge one way or the other. Let's find out from the Major Arcana what that Major Arcana has to say. Okay. We have death. Okay, death and transformation, right? Major change and transformation. So something's transforming for you through this whole ordeal that you're experiencing. Things were good then in the past. You know, you were sitting rather pretty in a good place, right? Female, male, doesn't matter. You were sitting in a good place. Not too many worries or concerns at the time. But you have the Three of Wands, so prepare. Being prepared for the change, the transformation that's coming. That's what the divine is saying, is that you're trying to prepare for whatever way you decide to go. Okay, so death and transformation, I would say that it doesn't matter which way you go, which way you choose to go with the situation you're at hand, that you're not feeling as safe and secure in your current circumstances. You may decide to just, wait and let things kind of unfold naturally for you. And if you can do that, if you can afford to do that, financially afford to do that, if that's, if that has is any bearing on the situation at all, or emotionally, can you afford to wait emotionally? Are you dealing with somebody who is, bullying you or being kind of emotionally abusing you or manipulating you in some way? Then you might be thinking, I don't know if I can just allow this to unfold naturally. You may actually have to take the reins and drive the buggy, right? Drive the horses and go, like chariot riding, right? Put an end to it. Usually with the Death card of the Major Arcana, usually means the divine is bringing an end to something. An end to that. Okay? Feeling safe and secure. It's time, because everything's in ebb and flow, right? The cycles of the moon still, the waxing and waning. Everything is energy, and so when we're in a good period, there's always going to be a not so good period coming around, because whatever not so good period is, that's usually like life's lessons, right? Where we're facing challenges and obstacles. I know I am in an ebb right now, an ebb cycle. That would be considered the waxing, the waning cycle of the moon. I'm in that right now. So there's obstacles and challenges. There's things to be concerned about, and it doesn't feel like I'm sitting pretty right now. It doesn't feel like I have things under control, because I don't feel like I have it under control. So it's to the point where I meditate and I pray and say to God, this is what I'm dealing with, and I trust in you that you have, there's everything happens for a reason, and I wish what I wish for is that you help me understand what the lesson is, so that I can learn it and I can move on. Learn it and take that wisdom with me, so that I can avoid this kind of ebbing, to this extent, this kind of ebbing again. I'll be ebbing again at some point in time. After I've done my flow, gotten into my flow phase, I'll start another ebbing, but it either won't be the same kind of situation I'm facing now, or it'll be a lot less, because I'm asking for help, and I'm asking to be shown the way, to learn from these challenges and obstacles, so that I can, transform and make those changes in my life, that I will not be doing things the same way that I had been doing that caused me to be in the ebb state, that I will be making shifts in my behavior and my thoughts and behaviors, right? I'll be making tweaks and shifts in that, so that I won't have to endure another as challenging time as what this one is right now. It'll be less challenging because we learn, it's like habit forming, right? It takes like at least 6 weeks to change one habit, a habit to doing something else. So it's the same idea. It's going to take time for me to not only go through the ebbing phase, learning my lessons and trying to shift and tweak my thoughts and behaviors as it pertains to this particular area of my life, but so that I can't expect that the next time I come back into an ebbing phase that it's not still going to be a bit of an issue for me, at least a bit of an issue for me. I'm still going to be dealing with it then, but the challenges and the obstacles will be a lot less because I'm asking for help. I'm asking to be shown the way, and this is what you could do. So you put an end, there's an end to this, but that means you're going to be transforming, and if you allow yourself to be prepared for it and say, okay, I can do this, the Three of Wands, right? I can do this. I have my wand, my magical wand in my hand. I can create the life that I wish to experience by having the motivation and desire to want to learn from, having had privileges before, to having lost those privileges now, or they have been reduced a significant amount, privileges or benefits or whatever it was that made you feel stable and secure. So it's all about moving through life, and it's those ebb and flow times, or the waxing and waning, that we have to endure so that we grow as a human being. Grow as a human being to become stronger and more tethered to our internal self, that we seek for guidance and ask for help. So what we got here is the Seven of Pentacles, looking back at the past and seeing, and you notice I didn't even shuffle the cards. So I'm just going to go with the top cards that are in the deck. Everything happens for a reason. Seven of Pentacles is saying I had it pretty good. I did. I may not have been Ten of Pentacles, which is like in excess, but I was pretty stable and secure in the near or far past. I'm thinking near past. Maybe it's been going on for a while, so it could also be considered far past. But the Seven of Pentacles is saying I've been sowing seeds that has allowed me to grow grow the fruit of my labor, and so that I have the harvest to rely on, right? That it'll take me over the winter, or take me over the ebb, take me over the waxing, the waning time, right? Through the more difficult time, the winter season. It will provide for me through the winter season. Maybe something at this point in time has actually caused your crop to dry up, or to become overcome by insects, and maybe birds got at it, or just drought, or too much rain, rot, something like that that's happened. Take that metaphorically, of course, for your life. So that Seven of Wands, which caused you, now this is the thing, the Seven of Wands is about showing, it's demonstrating that you actually established some healthy boundaries within yourself, like for yourself, like what you're going to accept from yourself and what you won't accept from yourself, or the way you think and feel about stuff. If you generally think about something and it makes you really, really angry, and you just want to retaliate, you might be giving that a second thought. For example, you'd be saying, no, one of my self boundaries is that I'm going to change the way I react, like the amount of time or the way I react, to the extent that I react. I'm going to consider the idea that if I react irrationally, I cannot expect a rational, outcome, right? You've got to expect the other person, the situation, to fight back. And it's not going to be pretty, right? So you're going to establish some boundaries for yourself, changing the way you're thinking and feeling, but you're also establishing boundaries for other people too. You're going to say to them, because you're growing from this, from having, been sowing the right seeds, the seeds that are going to blossom and provide you with the substance and nutrition and the abundance that you need to carry you through the ebb time, the winter season. You're putting up some boundaries, saying this is what I'll accept and this is what I won't accept. So, for example, you might be saying, I'm privileged, yes, I've been doing well, sitting pretty nicely in my life here, but it's because I've worked hard for this. And it doesn't mean that just because I have all these benefits and I can wear these fancy gowns and look like, wear my little white gloves and umbrella and look like I'm really well-to-do that I don't even lift a finger. They don't see me at home. You don't see me at home. I don't have my fancy gown on. In fact, I have a frock on. I carry, I put a bandana around my head, whatever. I am busy vacuuming, dusting, cleaning, chasing after the pets, taking care of them. I mow the lawn, or I wash the car, whatever it is you do. You're working hard. You might be working out, like you might be having a job, right, where you go to a job and you work hard. You work maybe more than 8 hours a day sometimes. So it's like you're saying to people, don't be looking at me just because I can go out socially and look like this. And think that, oh, poor little girl, she's losing this, that, and the other thing. Well, she's had it so good for so long, she could stand to lose a few benefits, right? Well, you're going to be saying to them, look, you'll be demonstrating to them that you're not going to accept that kind of opinion or attitude towards you. You're not my friend. You're not, because you have no idea what I do as to why I have been able to have bountiful harvests that have seen me through hard times that others haven't, because I've put the work in. I've done the work. I'm being rewarded for the hard work that I do. This is what I do. You don't see it because I don't want to portray it that I am this, that, and the other thing, working like a dog at home, when I just want to come across as though I'm living a pretty good life. I'm living a good life, and it's nobody's business how I got there. That kind of thing. Why I'm living a good life. And the Two of Cups shows up in your present day energy. So it is like you're presently concerned because it has to do with some kind of partnership. It could be romantic with the Two of Cups, but it also can be work related. Work with whoever you work with, whoever your employer is, you are partnered with them. A small business, you're partnered with somebody. Whatever. It could be for you, a project that you're working on. There's a partnership in it that you have committed to. They have committed to you. That is now under consideration. It's having some problems. It's complicated. Your patience is needed. Their patience might be needed. You're trying to work something out with them. And there's just so many working components that it's complicated. It's yarn. It's yarn after all, right? Hassles and problems and a big mess. And you're just feeling a little out of control about how to keep everything as it once was in this manner right here, right? Feeling good. Knowing, though, that it's probably an impossible task to be able to keep things as they were. That things are changing. They have to change because the Divine has said it's the end time. It's time for that end because we want to help you grow. We want to see you be prepared for what's to come for your winter season, so that when you come back into the spring, it is like you're ready, and you're ready to sow new seeds again, right? In the spring, to sow new seeds so that the seeds are even more potent, more stronger in composition. Like they're the type of seeds that only the wealthy can. That, like, if you were living during the kings and queens time, right? The kingdoms, it would only be the king who would get the best seeds in the land to have his people cultivate. he could afford to have the best seeds. And it's kind of like the same idea if you're doing IVS, in vitro fertilization. You would want to make sure that you vet the donors, right? The donors of it. So, because you don't want to end up with Down syndrome. You don't want to. The company that should be vetting these donors on your behalf, you want to make sure how reputable they are, that kind of thing, because you don't want to bring disease into the world if you don't have to. And I say that compassionately, of course, right? Compassionately. But it's just an example of what I'm talking about here. You want to be able to sow seeds that are going to possibly even boost your harvest to 200% as opposed to what it was 80% last year. I'm just coming up with numbers. So what we got here is the King of Wands. That the King of Wands could be the person that you're having problems with, or this could be you, or it could be somebody else moving forward. Let's get more information. We have the Emperor. We were just talking about the kingdoms, right? Emperor. And we have the Hanging Man. So I would like to get some, because we have a King of Swords on the back, the Nine of Pentacles, that's you, and Ten of Wands, but King of Swords on the back. So I am thinking that this is you, the Emperor, because you're going to be a woman, Libra, in your masculine energy. And if you are in your masculine energy, you're balanced, you're doing well, like really well. You are prepared to take on this major death and transformation, right? You're prepared, because if you're not right in this current moment, you will be. I have a feeling that this is your person. There's whoever that other person is, if it's a romantic person or someone in business or a project or whatever it is for you, Libra, this is your person. Somebody who has, like, if they're in the reverse, because I don't generally read reversals, but because we're talking about concern and problems and hassles and death and transformation, I would venture to guess that this is somebody who is like a Knight of Wands energy, the player kind, or the person that's you just can't really rely on. They take charge in impulsive ways, right? And it's to the point where they don't really care if they hurt anybody else, because it's all about what they get. It's what they want, right? The Knight of Wands. And this is the King of Wands. This is the King of Wands who is like matured, but in the Knight of Wands energy, kind of energy. If you get my drift. They are more so, they are a big time player. Knight of Wands, a player. King of Wands in reverse is a big time player. Somebody who is out to win. They are feeling pretty confident and cocky. Okay? Confident and cocky. They may be feeling like they've been taking care of you, and that you've had it because of you've had everything. You have had everything for you, to you, or you've had everything available to you. You've been living the good life because of, the sweat and tears off their back, right? They're feeling like that. They've got an attitude that it's because of their involvement in some way is why you've been able to live off the land in a very, abundant way, kind of thing. Live your life in an abundant and prosperous way. They're giving you that vibe. And being confident, too overly confident and cocky about their role in you doing well, their role in why you're doing so well. And remember, it's not. Yeah, you got beautiful gowns to wear, and it could be because this person makes a lot of money whatsoever, or whatever, but. And it could be if you weren't working, then of course the money comes from whatever they've been doing. But if you're working, irregardless, if you're working out of the home or working in the home, you might have kids that you have to take care of night and day, right? You might have a nanny. You might actually have a nanny, but maybe you don't. But in any case, when it comes down to it, you are the responsible party for your kids' wellness, because this is not what this person sees as their role or their duty. They are, they want to come across that they're a very good father, that they're an important role model, this, that, and the other thing, and that they love their kids, they love their project, they love their business, they love their clients, depending on what area of life we're talking about here. And that's what they feel all they do is they need to focus on that, because that'll bring the money in. That'll bring the riches in, the abundance in, right? But you have, toiled and labor at home, taking care of the house and the kids, and you might have help, sure, but maybe you don't have help doing that, like with a maid or a nanny or something like that. But if it's not that, it's that you work outside the home, and still you go to an 8 to 5 job or 9 to 5, and you might work some overtime hours, and you come home, dragging your butt behind you sometimes and feeling like, oh, I don't know if I can do this again tomorrow, kind of thing. You are working yourself too. And maybe you are working outside the home and also taking care of the kids in the house at home. Cooking and cleaning, all that sort of stuff. That goes on a lot, right? So Libra, you might be one of them that's doing that. And this one here is giving you problems because they're not seeing, they might be seeing it, or they might not be seeing all that you do. But I would say if they're not seeing it, it's because they don't want to acknowledge it. They don't want to acknowledge that you are, in fact, very much responsible too for your well-being. Very much responsible. It's not just all because of what they do, what they've done, what they've given you, and whatnot. So you've got some concerns about this person, whether it's in a romantic relationship or business or project-wise, whoever you're dealing with. All right, and this could be you and the project itself. It doesn't have to be another person, but it's because you're in connection. You're in the connection with it. This is you in the near future saying, hell no. Hell no. I am like, okay, you're looking back at this guy who's upside down, right? There you are, looking back at this guy upside down with this balanced energy of saying, even though I've sat pretty and I've been doing well, it's because of all that hard work I've done, where I have grown the fruits of my labor, the grown fruit from my labor, and I've been having to, fight for making sure that I get what I need, and that nobody is going to be seeing me in a way that's privileged, and that I don't deserve it. That's just not, you're not my friend, I don't want to have anything to do with you, that I will not accept a friend in my life who thinks that way about me, so therefore you're not my friend anymore. You can be one of these wands here, trying to pick a fight with you, right? But you're not going to accept that. You're going to say, look, you don't know what you're talking about. I do this, that, and the other thing. You don't even have to explain that to them, because you know what? You don't have to do anything. You know what the truth is. That's all that matters. You know what the truth is. But, if you need to explain, because it'll help you feel better, then by all means. But you're looking back at this guy who's upside down, and you're saying, oh my God, I can't believe it's turning out to be this whole thing that seemed really good, and things were going well between the two of us, me and the project, me and the business, whatever. But now I'm suddenly concerned because things are ending. The business might be having some real financial problems, and you're having to look at how to make changes. That the business is threatened. It's going to end up going under, and you having to close the doors, kind of thing. So this is a very real concern for you, whatever your situation is. There's a problem with how things were, and it's usually other people bring problems to us. And so this is somebody who's been a problem to you, and you're saying, in the very near future, you're saying, hey, this might be karma that I'm dealing with, karmic debt. That I would say it's because you're going into the ebb. You've been in the flow, now you're going into the ebb. So it feels like the obstacles and challenges that you're facing that you have to be concerned with right now, Libra, is that you're feeling as though these are being threatened, that these things are being seriously reduced, or whatever you've been experienced as being good it's not going to be as much as like that anymore, because death and transformation has come in after all. That has ended. Now you're going to be feeling like the world is somehow punishing you. Okay, you might be feeling like that. So that would be karmic debt that you might be feeling you got to pay off. Well, you learn from it. When you learn from it, you grow from it. You understand that these things happen like that, and this tarot card reading can help you if you don't realize that you're going to be integrating your masculine energies to do what's ever necessary for you to reap the rewards again, to have the Dharma show up, to have a destiny that is all about, reaping the rewards again, turning everything back into gold that showed up as, fake gold, alchemizing whatever it looks toxic here. You're going to alchemize that and turn that into something really good for you, that you're going to maybe even have the 10 of Pentacles next time, not just the 7, that you're going to be able to resume a life like this, because whatever it is that you've got to do to be able to secure that secure, safe and secure foundation for yourself again, you're going to be stepping up, leveling up, and taking charge like a masculine would, right? And so it's just a matter of divine timing, and how you're going to be able to see your way forward through this in the near future is by gaining a new perspective. And this tarot card reading can help you gain that perspective right now. At least start it by realizing that you were in the ebb. I'm sorry. You were in the flow. It's ebb time. Right now it's ebb time. Okay? The 33 is a number of mastering. So you're mastering with the Emperor energy. You're mastering the understanding that it's not always going to be sunshine and roses. Can't always be, because life is all about death and transformation. It's all about change. And it's just a matter of you making sure you're prepared so that you can manifest what it is that you need in order for you to resume a life, and more so that you can feel safe and secure again. As things are kind of like in a wave, it's like you're in big waves right now on the surface of the ocean. But divine timing's coming in, and you're going to be gaining this new perspective. You're going to be walking away with some wisdom as a result of this, and you're going to make your way in the energy of the King of Swords, saying, I am going to, if I have to seek advice from an authority figure in order to make this happen, maybe I need to divorce this person if you're married to them. Maybe I need to break this partnership in this business, or put an end, put it in writing somehow in some kind of document that I'm not going to be part of this project anymore, or things have got to change with how things are carried out, or how the project operates, or whatever, right? Because this is the energy that you're going to be in. You're going to be independently bringing forward your own sense, not only of self-pride, because you don't have this guy telling you that it's because of their sweat and tears that you had this. You're going to have all that. Look that's a very beautiful dress, by the way, and her hair is beautifully done. Not any different than this lady here. Like there's as much beauty and royalty or eloquence to this lady here, who's standing here in the 9 of Pentacles. It's like, remember I said 10 of Pentacles? You were in the 7 of Pentacles here, while you were sitting pretty with someone else, saying you're in this kind of privilege because of what I've done. That is what was going on there. I'm going to turn it, because he's upside down. But guess what? Because you decided to take charge, to take control of your life, and realize that it was time for you to wise up about why you had what you had back then, and to remember how your sweat and tears went into it, to you being able to harvest the fruit from your own labors. You know, you had a lot to do with it yourself. You don't ever give that power away to somebody else anymore. You're learning that. You're standing in this King of Swords energy saying, the truth is, and this is the way I see the truth, and there's nothing about it being emotional. I am just pointing out to yourself or to whoever you're talking to that for assistance, you know, to collaborate with or to consult with, right? The truth is that I put a lot of my time and my energy into this life here. That's the reason why I had what I had. Yes, they had very much a lot to have to do with that as well, but it wasn't just because of what they'd had. I did a lot too. I made my bed and I lied in it. And I lied in it quite well. I laid in it quite well. Okay, because of the work, the energy I put into being able to have that kind of life, as well as having somebody who I worked with or, you know, married to, lived with, that had that kind of significant energy and power too. And look at me now. Because you're standing up for your own truth here, truth and nothing but the truth, you are going to be sitting pretty in the near future with the Nine of Pentacles energy. Independent, no longer codependent on this guy here. No more codependency. That's the one thing you're learning about this. If there's any wisdom you're taking, is that it really has to do, you can be in a relationship with somebody, but you don't have to be codependent. You can live in a relationship where, you know, you're with each other and you're admitting your undying love to each other. You're going to live with each other for the rest of your lives and this, that, and the other thing. But you can still maintain a level of, or more so, of your independent life before you came together with this person. Oftentimes women make the mistake of letting go of their independence because now they're in, and it turns out to be a codependent life, where especially back in the 50s in particular, I know it's not like that now, but not so much like that now, but back in the 50s, women didn't work. They were at home mothers, raising children, cooking, cleaning, and so forth. And they didn't really have much input into what decisions are going to be made about the family and the home and everything else. Things have really changed that way. And you are definitely going to be in the energy of, I am going to be making decisions about my life. And only me. I will consider other people's decisions, sure, or input, sure. But ultimately, it's going to be my decision. And that may be what you are putting down, as a burden, that it's time for you to start a new beginning, because 10 is the end and 9 is the end, actually, with 1 being a brand new beginning. With 10, you are putting the burden down. Putting the burden down that someone else might have control over your well-being, your safety and security, and you're going to make it your own burden, if that's what you want to call it, your own responsibility. And you could still get into another relationship if you're leaving this partnership behind. You still get into another project, another business, another romantic relationship, but still maintaining your independence. Very much so. So, Libra, please like and subscribe. I hope this helped. Take care of yourself. Until next time, bye-bye.